Hi, I'm Dane Baptiste and welcome to the Sarah O'Connell Show.
Welcome to the Sarah O'Connell Show.
So welcome to the Sarah O'Connell Show. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here. I've just seen you live on stage at the Mayflower Theatre in sunny England, which was very good, very funny.
Thank you.
I had to check my face to make sure it wasn't leaking all over the place from anywhere, my ears or...
It's fine. I'm in no control of your orifices. All I want to do is...
You are, from now on you are.
Okay, fine. I can take that responsibility.
I relinquish control.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, I'm negligent. I'm a real laissez-faire kind of boss.
Oh, really?
So yeah, most stuff I'll be able to overlook. So yeah, just so you know. I also tend to delegate a lot too.
Really? This sounds very good.
I'll be mainly in the pub. I'm gonna be honest with you. Now that I'm the boss of your orifices, so
pub related.
Yeah.
Things happening.
Oh yeah, and you can text me if anything happens.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
So you've got your third show out at the moment,
Yes.
Which is called God, which, as we all know, is gold, oil, and drugs.
Yes.
Yeah, and
They can also be guns, oil, and drugs.
it could.
Yeah. So the show.
Or guns or drugs.
Guns or drugs, yeah, or girls, ovaries, and dicks. The show just, I guess, is about me just trying to work out humanity, and the show has some.
This is your Act 2 begins call. Your Act 2 begins call. Thank you.
There's no. They check. They make sure that I'm not misbehaving. I'm a real stealer when it comes to these kind of gigs.
Oh, you really?
Yeah, there's not a lot of selection here though, so I'm behaving. Yeah, I mean it's fine. There's waters and stuff, but not my normal spread I like to take.
Been trying to wrestle those binoculars out without putting the 20p in.
Oh, well, I'm trying to steal toilet paper, so we all have goals. That's the important thing. Goals.
Saves ruining the wallpaper.
Yeah, this is true. As I learned that time. I digress anyway. The show is about, it's kind of about religion, but I guess the show is inspired by the fact that I know there's a real zeitgeist of, I guess, irreligion and atheism in the UK, which is fine. However, I felt what some people were construing as atheism was actually just the worship of convenience. And I say that because I felt, I guess, that the fact that we profess to be a secular and irreligious society, yet still a patriarchy, when women have like lower mortality rates in infancy than men do, and also technically Homo sapiens as a species would have had to come from woman, because that's by the definition of species by Charles Darwin, someone that has the equipment to reproduce, which women have. Yeah. So and it was and also just our worship of materialism and capitalism, in that while we are aware that resources are finite, we seem to be consuming them now at a higher rate than we ever have. So that's where the idea of gold, oil, and drug came from, and it's more to dealing with like gold, dealing with materialism and our worship of wealth, and oil, maybe our worship of resources and how that's afforded us like the technological age. And finally, drugs is just basically talking about more about compulsion, and and chemistry and body chemistry. Yeah. So which are, I guess, and they're very expansive subjects. So there's a lot I could talk about, but yeah, it's just basically just talking about this modern life, and I guess trying to ponder as existentialism versus spiritualism, and and the mind and stuff. So the idea of the show really is that if you are someone who is an atheist or another scientific disposition, then you're aware that your atoms that make up your body aren't necessarily yours. You come from a common source. And if you're a spiritual person, then you being a part of an institution which discriminates against people's physical differences makes no sense if your whole ethos is to focus on the soul. So that's the point of the show, really. And then smatterings of funnies in between.
That's a good thing, because your comedy's really clever, but also it gives you something to think about. There's some meat to it.
I'd like to think so. I mean, I think it's, you shouldn't really forget that comedy is still it's a art form, and I think that's the idea of most art, is to kind of try and elicit some kind of emotion from people. And it doesn't necessarily mean that every single thing I say is supposed to be necessarily funny, or will make everyone will enjoy. But what I hope it does is that it does provoke some thought when the laughter's died down. And I think it's always, for me, it's kind of, I guess, the best payout other than the laughs is for someone to say like, I didn't really think about it that way, or you put it in a different way, or you were saying what I was thinking, and it's just this way of having it articulated. And I just think, again, even with the comedy nowadays, there's a real I guess severe narrative in terms of political correctness and what can be said and what we can't said and about context and stuff. So I definitely do try and push that, and especially because I would have said, historically, I may have been considered a liberal comedian to some extent, but I think that's a word, unfortunately, like feminism, which has been taken and distorted on both sides from people that don't necessarily understand the ideology. And so I just definitely make sure I have that conversation, because I think if you're making observations about the world and about humanity, you have to discuss these things if you're going to be doing it effectively.
Yeah, definitely. Because they're sort of big, important topics, and the world's in an interesting place at the moment. And it's great that comedians can sort of tackle this stuff, but in a way that it makes it, because they're quite heavy subjects sometimes. But by making it more lighthearted, then it might sort of sink in with the person a bit more, maybe resonate a bit more. Yeah,
definitely. I try and make it a point of principle that I will discuss subjects that might be considered taboo or edgy, but try not to get bogged down in the jargon so much. And I think we are in a time now where people are making a real concerted effort to find designations for themselves and classify themselves, and we're making having so much focus on what separates us that we're not actually focusing on what unites us. So that can be the problem. So definitely trying to address that in the show.
It happens, because people sort of divide themselves by politics or by religion or by city or by sports, and we're all humans, and we all eat and drink and sleep, and I don't sleep very much, but I do the others.
But you're aware of sleep, so and so in that case, there's some empathy about it. So I'm also an insomniac to an extent, and it's I think for myself, and it does sound pretentious, and I will apologise to the viewers of Sarah Connell TV in advance, but so far as observations that most of us, how we experience things or perceive things is along our five senses, and I think the real trick as an artist is to begin to transcend the tangible and the physical and the five senses, and really start, I guess, trying to look at things through my mind's eye. Because I guess I always try and think that most people, before they go to sleep, and as soon as they wake up, with that first, even millisecond, they don't really consider themselves in a way or along lines of gender or race or they're religious. It's just, your consciousness. And then, once you leave that, I guess, dream state or astral plane, you have to be like, well, I'm a person that has to work and blah, blah, blah. But I'm always just trying to capture that point where people can dispense with all these ideas and all of the, I guess, the kind of boxes that have been made for them. Just get to that consciousness about, I guess, what you are instead of, who you are instead of what you are. Because that's the thing, is that about being a human being, is that you're a being, and the fact that we have this distinction of human and being, there's not a lot of other organisms where we have this distinction of your species first and then say that you're a being, which is obviously a testament to the fact that we are aware that there's more to us than our chemical processes and our physical beings, and there's obviously more to us than that. So I'm always just trying to find that within myself and as well within the audience as well.
It's really good. Because, as you say, when you first wake up, the only things you're thinking are, I need the toilet, I'm late, and have I got any messages on Facebook?
Yeah. Pretty much,
That's universal. Who has Donald Trump threatened on Twitter?
Yeah, exactly. And what's he done? And I think, Donald Trump is definitely a good example of what happens when you are not really paying attention to your consciousness and definitely focusing on the physical. Yeah. And I think he's definitely the personification of, just being a human doing as opposed to a human being.
Yeah, he's very spontaneous and doesn't.
Yeah, it's what's called like having a lizard brain, where his actions seem to be completely dictated by the need for self-gratification or validation. So I think Donald Trump is somebody that if he feels he can curry favor and protect his ego, he will do or say whatever. And but with whichever group he's lobbying for, and there has to come to a point where you have to call heads have to prevail, or you have to think about just the greater good as opposed to, right now. And I think, Donald Trump is definitely a symbol of that whole idea of just being guided by instinct and saying what he thinks will work to the people that he works for. And I guess in a weird way, like, while he isn't a politician, he's very much like a politician, in that he just says what he thinks people want to hear. So. Sorry.
Bless you.
you very much.
And whatever people of other religions say as well when people sneeze.
Yeah. Oh, Gesundheit.
Yeah, they say that in America bizarrely, but
Yeah, health. Oh no, America is America's whole structure is kind of has a very Germanic or Prussian foundation. That's why they have words like sauerkraut and kindergarten.
So it really is a melting pot, isn't it?
And eagle as well. Yeah, so it's very much. Even though America does distinguish itself as a sovereign and separate nation, it's definitely taken a lot of cues from Germany and Prussia. So, which is why they say stuff like Gesundheit, and and obviously have a large Jewish population who speak Yiddish, which is kind of like German dialect or quasi-German language, and just weird words like kindergarten or sauerkraut, which
aluminum, whatever the hell that is.
Aluminum, which and even
garbage.
Yeah, garbage. Yeah, exactly. So,
all German.
All German. All German. Very German.
Exactly.
Trump's a German.
Ah, yes, it's true. It's only Drumpf. Yeah, that's what it used to be, and they changed it to Trump.
Exactly, yeah. It's just like, Saxe-Gothenburg is now Windsor. Yeah. So, I speak German.
Do you really?
Ja, ein bisschen Deutsch. Ja, es ist sehr schwierig und macht keinen Spaß. It's not fun. It's boring. That's what I said. And I think you guys picked that up. But it's been beneficial at every experience, and
See, I know some French, but only up until the age of when I think I was in year 9. Like when I was 14, I think I stopped remembering new French things. So I can basically say, I'm 14. I'd like 2 train tickets to Paris, and I'd like a cheeseburger. Wow. But then you start saying it in French, and they just reply in English, and it's like, what is the actual point?
Yeah, they used to because they were all bilingual. Now, post Brexit, they'll be like, it's going to cost you a fuck ton in French. I don't know.
Le fuck ton.
Yeah, le fuck ton.
Yeah. Français.
Beaucoup fuck ton. Yeah, that sounds.
Oui, je m'appelle.
Franglish. Well, I'll just try to put an accent on it. Or Spanglish. I do that sometimes as well.
This is the first international episode of this show that everybody can watch.
I hope so, yeah. And buenas noches, viewers as well. And and bon nuit.
Bon Jovi.
Bon Jovi as well. Yeah. Bonjour.
Bonsoir, because it's night time.
Yeah, bonsoir. So which is where soiree comes from. Oh. It's like good evening, and we say soiree, which is an evening sings.
We're learning so much today. This is fantastic.
I've not spoken to a lot. I've been driving for a long time, so that's why I'm just rambling. So
this is good.
Yeah, it's only so much conversations I can have by myself.
I'll just drive back up with you, and then we can film it, and I'll get 90 episodes.
Feel free.
91-minute long episodes about different subjects. Yeah. Every minute I'll beep something, then we'll have to change.
Like you can take them out of a hat.
Yeah.
I don't have a hat though.
I need a hat. Could you bins a bit?
You're going way over budget, Sarah. I keep telling you.
This is so true. I know. So my first question. No joke. So welcome to the show now. So you've just been on stage. Can you tell me a bit about how you sort of prepare now? Obviously you've been doing it a long time, but do you still get nervous? Do you still sort of check your notes or go over things, or is it like sort of muscle memory at this point?
It's a combination of all of those things. So it's definitely the nerves and anxiety. I enjoy it because I've worked with James Alderson before, so I am confident that I am going to be coming onto a very good room, which is always good. And it's a nice audience, so that was fun in the end, but I still get very nervous. I do sometimes have, I guess, a skeletal structure for what I'm going to talk about, but then depending on how things go, or if I do receive inspiration while performing, then I'll take somewhere else. Or I digressed like 3 times in this set, which is fun though, because it's more fun because I guess I've had more experience now, and I think it's more fun to make the performance more organic and bespoke to the audience. And yeah, it was nice because I got to try something I hadn't done before, a few bits I hadn't done before, and and I think just by leaving it open to audience reaction, and you get to your material and your performance grows organically as well.
And it's great that you're sort of you're comfortable enough that you can just try new things, and then it's great if it works. It doesn't matter if it doesn't, because you've still got your show. Yeah,
exactly. And also it's kind of like I've done comedy enough to know over the spread of shows that if I do have a bad gig over a run of like maybe 10 good gigs, then you kind of work out the averages. And also I guess what comes with experience, and for a lot of comics, is I guess your biggest fear really is if the people won't laugh. But at the same time, I guess the execution of comedy is almost trying to replicate the art of conversation. And even when you're having a conversation, reactions may vary. It won't necessarily just be laughter. So people have different reactions. And like I said, sometimes, if you're trying to provoke thought or conversation, then not everything you say is supposed to be funny. Some stuff will be considered absurd or shocking or offensive, and that's how it's supposed to work. Because sometimes if I say something that offends certain people, it's like, yeah, because I bloody wanted to offend you, and maybe you need to change your political or ideological disposition. So
it's good to take people on a ride too. So it's like if you see a comedy that's all just laugh after laugh, you almost get exhausted by it. And if you see a horror that has no light moments, it's kind of the same. You stop being scared because you're almost indifferent to it. It's like, well, I've been scared for an hour now. Just do it.
Whatever it's called, I think it's called Moore's Law. I learned in marketing, where if someone hears the same sound at the same pitch and frequency for long enough, then it becomes invisible. So like you said, it's good to change the tempo or change the mood in order for you to provide that light and shade and that balance. So I think it's good if you are just laughing animatronically for a long time, then which is why, a lot of the time the whole sitcom thing, when people laugh, canned laughter, I think we're living in like a post-digital time where I think some of the more sophisticated or prolific sitcoms don't even have a laughter track for that purpose, to just leave it open for audience to interact however they want.
It can be distracting too, because it's almost like the writers need gratification of a reaction like every three times a sentence or something. It's like not every single thing that they say is funny, so it's more natural if you just have
and I think once you start getting to that rhythm, you know where they're going to go with it. And again, I've learned over the years and through growth, and also through critical reviews and stuff, that I always try and meander as much as possible, and there's also because again, you're dealing with relatable observations. It's always going to be a premise that everyone can relate to, but the real payoff and how you distinguish yourself as an act and an individual is that wherever you can take people and they don't notice where you're going to go with it, that's how it works. So I always try and push things about that's funny, but how likely is it that someone else is going to arrive at the same conclusion? And if so, then how can I change this so people don't know where I'm going?
Sort of surprise them.
Yes, exactly. Because what you want to do is there's what you can make, like I said, make people laugh, and they can laugh on cue for a time, and they've indulged it. But what you want is for people to be like, oh, Dane's got this joke about this, but he doesn't. I'm not really telling it right, but he's got this bit, and that's what you want after your performance, so that it's definitely unique to you.
And so, how did you first get into comedy? Is it something you always wanted to do? Or?
No, it was, but I just had no idea how to pursue it. And I say that now, obviously on reflection, because hindsight's a great thing. But when I was 15, I went to watch a show at Catford Theatre, where I live, and the acts that were on it was Leah Mohammed, who was big on Roy McCoy, and then in the middle spot was a relatively unknown comedian called Russell Peters, and he did really well. And then D.L. Hewley, who was the host of Def Jam and BT Comic View, he was on, and I was blown away. I mean, I enjoyed comedy before that. I stolen cable at home, and I started watching comedies on there. And then I spent a lot. I'm a dual citizen of the States as well, so I'd go over and watch like a lot of HBO shows and stuff, and saw stand up then. And then I saw that, and I just felt it was so fun and so amazing, and just seeing people that were quick-witted and said whatever they wanted. And then my friend's mum brought back Chris Rock's Bigger and Blacker on CD, and after that I was like, I want this. That's what I want to do in my life. And but then I just buried that and became a closet comedian for the next 15 years, and then came out, and I was just like, just give it a go. And then which brings us to where we are now. Finally doing the Sarah Connell show.
Finally. Our whole lives have been leading up to this moment.
I feel like they have. Yeah. They have. It's been.
It makes sense if you trace it backwards.
6 degrees of separation. Exactly. Do you breathe oxygen?
Sometimes.
Me too. Yeah. Occasionally.
Not if I'm in the lift, because sometimes you have to hold your breath.
There you go. See, and that's already 2 degrees of separation. So, is it a microphone you're holding there? I was just holding a microphone. This is crazy.
I know. Crazy. What is going on?
This is what I mean. It's like
this is incredible.
It's all part of the divine plan.
Wait, are you on a sofa?
It's crazy. This is crazy.
It's like, because I know you're twin, but it's like almost triplets. You know what I'm saying? It's like with the same. Yeah. The same stuff's going on. Yeah.
So, I mean, even the fact that you're asking questions and I'm responding shows that there's a rapport there. I mean, it's crazy.
It's like the timing's incredible. Like, I stop saying things and you immediately start saying them.
Crazy. It's just,
We rehearsed this like a dozen times, and that's it. Like almost nothing.
what's a dozen? What's a dozen?
know.
I mean, is that enough points to get you your...
Isn't a baker's dozen? Yeah, isn't a baker's dozen like different to a dozen or something, or is it still a dozen?
I think a baker's dozen is 14.
Yeah.
I want to say that. But then it doesn't make any sense, because it's even like you get 10 pieces of chicken in a bucket, but then you get 4 fries. What? So how? So was it 2 pieces each and then fries? But then that leaves 2 pieces left. So then who gets the other 2 pieces? Does dad? But then why are we still subscribing to these heteronormative paradigms of family?
Exactly.
Maybe both mums want a piece of chicken each.
And the thing is too, who the hell gets a Viennetta? And there's only one beans.
Only one beans.
There's only one Viennetta. There's one
Sort
person.
it out, KFC.
You need like 10 Viennettas.
Some people are lactose intolerant, like me.
Oh, I'm fine to eat it. I just get angry thinking about it, so I'm not tolerant of lactose either.
Yeah, I had a big thing with KFC Dubai about what they referred to as a biscuit. Wasn't a biscuit.
Had that in America.
Yeah, well, I mean, those biscuits are good in America. I'm aware of the idiomatic expression. That was a roll in Dubai.
You can't dunk it in your tea.
No, you can't dunk in your tea, nor your gravy. And I feel like this place of such opulence needs to focus on their priorities. First of all, really addressing the indentured servitude and virtual slavery there, and then sort out and then KFC have a because they're doing like the when you get 8 frankfurters and then 10 rolls in the packet.
Yeah. So you have to get more, or you've got. Yeah.
That's how they get you. They don't teach you that shit in maths in school.
Because I wasn't listening.
No.
They tried to teach me it. Yeah, I mean they were. Yeah.
I thought you'd know. I was asking.
No, I switched off. I had to redo it in college.
I don't remember the last time I standardly deviated.
Don't need to.
No, not at all.
Exactly. I mean, I'm an expert in pie, but the wrong kind.
Oh, is there a wrong kind? Yeah. There's one kind of.
Yeah, but I don't like kidneys.
Yeah, but even pie, that's an. Oh yeah, It's a weird one how somebody came up with that. What goes with steak? What goes with steak? Oh, I've got an idea.
Appendix.
Right? Yeah.
I don't know what they do anyway.
I know what they do.
What do they do?
They used to secrete cellulase to help people digest grass when we were more herbivorous.
Yeah.
Herbivorous? I don't know the pronunciation.
Yeah.
Herbivorous. So when we were more herbivorous, then your intestine would, your appendix would secrete cellulase to help you digest grass. Which is obviously the reason why cows have 4 stomachs, in order to adapt them to do that. Which maybe means that a strictly raw fruit and veg or vegan diet may not be that beneficial nutritionally. But we don't have to get into that. But I will say, though, that I always see animal rights people going crazy at catwalks, but you never see them in sex dungeons. There's places are full of leather that's not really needed.
And they go crazy because they're hungry.
Hangry. They're hangry. Yeah. I think that's what it is. That's what it is. They're
and they've got extra rolls because they've got just 10 rolls and nothing to go.
Yeah, you can't put tofu in a roll. It's a squidge. Squidge city, mate.
Tofu should go in a sock.
Tofu should go in a sock, and then you should use the aforementioned sock to whoever offered you that tofu.
You should.
Yeah, I'm not a tofu fan.
You're not.
I only realised that they have tofu in pot noodle real recently. So chicken and mushroom. Yeah. I mean, I get the mushroom, but where's the chicken? Chicken flavoured tofu.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
I've not really explored pot noodles very recently.
Me either. In fact, I feel like that revelation put me off them.
Yeah.
And I'm also doing very well for myself, so I'm more of a...
You're on the show, so obviously...
Exactly, I'm a super noodles kind of man now. My noodles come in a saucepan now. Sorry to brag, guys, but I worked hard for this position.
It's true. You auditioned so many, it was amazing.
I did work very hard. Sometimes I add, sugar snaps to my noodles if I'm feeling frisky, guys. It's the end of the month. Let's go crazy.
And if you're in a rush, just pour the water into the packet and don't even bother with a pan.
Right? Or just crumble them up into a sandwich.
Delicious.
Right?
Yeah. Just chew it.
Yeah.
Last longer.
Way longer.
Yeah. It's a good exercise workout.
Oh, mate, you'll be...
Goes back to the cow days.
It's 70... Yeah, exactly. You'll need 4 stomachs if you eat super noodles without an appendix.
And you'll look like you've got 4 stomachs.
Yeah, but who's judging appearance, guys? No.
Tiny stomachs.
Not this show.
No.
Not this show.
I'm clearly counter appearance.
Oh, no, you're pro appearance.
You think I'm pro appearance?
Yeah.
This is good. I did turn up. I turned up. So I am pro.
Made your way backstage.
This is true.
Hung out.
Wrestled the security guards.
He looked real ill afterwards.
He did.
I hope he's okay.
I did as well, actually. Oh my God. We were going to get ice cream, actually. We were on the way to get ice cream, and then we took a diversion. Yeah, well, exactly. Put them on ice, chilling out.
Well, you know.
Chilling like a villain.
And the important thing is that whatever happens, you had remorse.
Exactly.
And
one of my favourite cop shows.
You see, and if it goes as far as court, then I will be able to say on your behalf, yeah, she fucked him up, but she felt bad afterwards.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, so that's cool.
Now, in your spare time, who makes you laugh? Who are your favourite comedians?
Such a crazy question. I have my favourites, and I think people have heard all of those before. For most who are considered the greats, but normally I basically just like being in the trenches with other comics and seeing how they innovate and do different stuff. And you get to a nice space, I think, in comedy after a while, where most of the people that you're interacting with more regularly are just focused on their own style and honing their own voice. And I think that's why I enjoy most about it, is that it's dealing with individuals. And there are a lot of people that are very unconventional, but I always find them very funny because they're very innovative and very unique and very different. So, like, for example, people to look out for, other than myself, Mo Gilligan, Athena Kublenyu, Tanya Moore. I love Aisling B. I know everyone knows Aisling B as well. I think Joe Lycett, and I'll say this now, Joe Lycett is the truth. Kay Kurd is a great guy as well. Check him out. Alistair Williams is a great actor as well. Nabil Abdul-Rashid is great. Ivor Graham, I love seeing all the time. Finn Taylor, I love seeing all the time. Tez Ilyas, I love seeing. Sophie Willan. Beck Hill is another great act. Catherine Ryan is my spirit animal. So, yeah.
Been on the show twice. So is Joe Lycett.
See? Well, there you go. So that's even more encouraging. And, yeah, and I mean... Again, I want to say, categorically, that I believe that those two will be astronomical in terms of their trajectory of their success. And they've been massive inspirations. And, and even I've even recently worked with Jimmy Carr, and, you know, that's someone that people always bring up when you even talk about stand-up comedy. And, again, very driven, great guy, very personable, and very supportive, as has been Frankie Boyle. And it's been a real humbling experience. So, yeah, as I say, everyone that I'm working with... at this stage is amazing, and it's always been a nice experience. So
that's a great thing in the UK. There's a wealth of comedy. It's amazing.
The UK is a Premier League of stand-up, and that's the reason why you have people coming from all parts of North America and Australia and plying their trade here, because it's a place where you can, I guess, industrially can realise a career from just doing stand-up. But yeah, so far as a standard here, it's from what I see outside of critics and the like. And, how some people outside of the actual act of performing comedy may try and dictate the narrative. Actual people doing comedy, I would say it's the Premier League. So it's great. If you can do well in the UK, it's very likely in most places you'll do very well. So
even if you've got sort of regional references in your comedy, it's good to sort of bring that stuff to new audiences as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's like I said, not getting too bogged down in jargon, and make sure that's not the essence of what you're trying to say. But I think with any kind of premise and any kind of idea, like, if you can make it relatable and it is from a genuine place, then odds are people will be able to identify with it. So it's cool.
Exactly. Is there any have you got sort of the favourite or the worst gig that you've had, or a particularly bad heckler?
I've had loads, and they can always be terrible for different reasons. But I think the worst time I bombed, and probably the first time I massively bombed, was at Brunel University, and it went so badly that I was too embarrassed to ask for my money from the promoter. And it was literally people just trying to boo me off stage, and that's why I probably realised then, because people I've spoken to at the event later on, I mean, it was just very clear that you just didn't like me. So people just don't want me to do well as soon as I came on stage, and sometimes you have to be aware of that you walk on stage sometimes, and people, because and it's why a lot of the time in the early stages of a lot of comedians' careers, they'll begin their set by saying, "I know what you're thinking." So when they're looking for an opening, because people will make superficial judgments about you, so it's always about trying to subvert those.
I suppose in a way too. I mean, at the very least, stops. You know, if you were doing the same material for 6 months or whatever, at least you've still got to be on your toes because you don't necessarily know what you're walking into.
And that's I also had to learn that on that when I bombed as well, because I wasn't very far into my career, so I had maybe 2 or 3 gigs and thought, well, I think I'm funny, so I just got to say things are funny. But yeah, then I learned that this is a performance art, and that, you know, your set is almost like your single if you're a musician, and you know, you have to learn your single upside down with a safe in your head in a shark tank and make it tight, and then you can react to everything else. And you'll learn as time goes on to ad lib and improvise a lot more. But when you're learning to hone a performance, then you need to kind of stick to a script so that you know how to deal with stuff if stuff does happen. But yeah, it was a humbling experience, and I learned a lot about myself, and I think it's not been all perfect since then, but it'll never be as bad as that. So.
You know, I think it could too also be one of the most important, because, you know, that some people at that point would give up, but it's the fact that you got past that one. And, you know, the next time you get back on the stage is like a huge thing to sort of, you know, come back.
Oh, definitely. I would say for a lot of comedians, that's an enormous milestone in your career, is that first time you bomb, and it's really about getting back on the horse. And there might be some comedians that I've never bombed, but then I guess, what are you saying that works every single time? Yeah. Like, if everyone has thoughts that are shared by everyone else, again, that's politics. It's not really.
Are you taking risks?
Yeah, exactly. If you're saying stuff that everybody wants to hear, then yeah, what risks are you taking? That can't work for everyone. The biggest and best comics, you'd be hard pressed to find one that hadn't bombed before. So yeah.
So, in addition to touring around the UK and beyond, you also last year had a show called Sunny D.
Yes, I had a TV show which debuted on BBC Three in November, and I wrote the show myself, cast the show, wrote the theme tune, sung the theme. I didn't sing the theme tune. I just sourced the music at the time.
Dennis Waterman.
Oh, not from him. No, I pay very little attention to his Spotify playlists.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Although those are pretty German themselves.
Are there other playlists apart from his?
Oh yeah, there is. They're hard to find, but you got to just like...
They're really niche.
Yeah, a few clicks. It's the rest... I mean, Spotify is like 70% Dennis Waterman, and then the rest of it's very nuanced, so yeah. But yeah, it was a great experience. Worked with some unbelievable talent, and again, Catherine Ryan featured, Mick Ferry, Don Warrington, John Thompson was in the pilot as well, so that was great. And then the rest of the core cast, Bemi Ikamelo is now, she's now on another TV show, David Ajeo. And I bring them up because they were both trained actors of the Royal Shakespeare Company, and are now beginning a burgeoning career in television, which was great. That now they can transcend their talent to the small screen. Sasha Frost, again, another amazing, accomplished theatrical actress who had done a lot of comedy previously, and yeah, basically rose to the occasion. I was the weak link. So,
Not at all.
Oh God, yeah. Acting. Oh, I had no idea. But
you're very good.
Thank you. I mean, I played myself, so it wasn't a far cry. But they definitely provided a great environment for me to flourish and find my acting voice, I guess. Yeah.
So it was kind of semi-autobiographical, was it?
Yeah, definitely semi-autobiographical with a lot of stories, composite characters and a lot of stories embellished for comedic effect. But yeah, definitely the idea of the show was just to kind of give a glimpse of the life I had before I decided to do something I wanted to do, as opposed to the frustrations of doing what I thought I should be doing. And that was definitely the subtext of the show, was about, you know, just getting to a quarter life or existential crisis and thinking, what are you doing with your life? And yeah, my biggest fear when I was 30 would be, you know, to have no money, have no home and no family. And when I got to today, I had none of that, but I had $1 and a dream, and then we're here now.
That's all you need.
Yeah, definitely. Or maybe like €1 now, because the dollar is also plummeting. So you're getting financial news as well, guys. I'm trying to do my best here.
This is a good thing about if you went on holiday like years ago and you find, you know, like you get some money you just can't spend like on the last day of the holiday, you have a little bit left over. Like now, like you can be rich just by like having €10. Yeah. Like you find it's like, well, that's paying the mortgage this month because the pound won't.
Or, you know, you live in Doncaster, buying a house. Just buying a house.
Chip shop.
Yeah, next door. Yeah, chip shop next door.
If I had like extra money, I'd go for chip shop.
Oh, I want chips now. I really want chips.
Should we just like stop recording and just go get chips?
We can record going to chip shop, but probably it might be harder. But I want to.
I'd have to put the light on the camera, and then the battery would go quicker, so we'd have to speak faster.
That's okay. Can't speak fast and eat chips. I'll choke. Come on, guys.
Oh, that's fine because you're supposed to do gags anyway. So.
Hey, that's good. That's good.
Thank you.
As opposed to my normal gags.
Yeah. This whole conversation was leading to me saying that I didn't know how I was going to get there.
No, about you got there, and that's great. And that's the thing. I didn't see it coming. You meandered successfully, kept it vivid, and you kept it
Several days.
exactly. There was a lot of lucid themes there, and you illustrate very illustrative, and then you were able to get there. I didn't see it coming.
Like our connections, if you trace it all back, it all fits.
All fits.
Yeah.
I hope when I do get these chips, there's like onion vinegar. That's my thing. I like not regular vinegar, onion vinegar, because there's vinegar in ketchup anyway. So
What is onion vinegar?
it's just clear vinegar, and I guess you just
It tastes like an actual onion.
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Blown my mind.
Right now there should be
Oh,
more
sorry.
types of vinegar, right?
Malt vinegar. Malt.
Malt's one. Onion vinegar. It's a thing, I'm telling you. So that's 3 vinegars. Any more vinegars that we? There should be more.
There's white vinegar because that's good for cleaning things as well.
That's good.
I put some in a cake once. I didn't know what would happen, but it's quite good. It counterbalanced the sugar.
That's good.
like acidic.
Shaoxing is like the vinegar they use for like stir fries.
Or when you're speaking loudly with stuff in your mouth.
Yeah.
When you're shouting.
And your shaoxing. I like that. That's good.
That's the second part of the thing.
That's good. By you saying it to me though, you give tacit agreement I can steal that.
You can have it, yeah. It's fine. I've used it once now. It's out there.
Yeah, and besides, once we start this vinegar thing takes off, we're going to be rolling in it, mate.
It'll be quite stingy.
Yeah. Well,
You're rolling it.
risks are taken.
True.
No.
Sunny D we were talking about, weren't we?
Yes, we were.
We were, yes, of course. Of
It
a
was
flipping
fun.
cool.
I liked it. So I'm not sure if there's going to be a second series at this stage.
Have you got ideas in case there is?
Yes, I have ideas. We have it on ice, like this poor security guard.
Yeah.
And
Listen.
yeah, but in the meantime, I think that the more I learn and the more I can expand my writing ability and my horizons, then it means that when I return to the project, it'll be better. And it's also providing the breadth for the cast who are continuing to explore their own creativity, and I'm seeing that. And so Akemji Defonian and Bemi Ikamelo, who are on the show as my cousin and sister respectively, are now in a sketch show called Famalam. It's on BBC.
Oh, wow.
Yep, David Ajayo can be found on Holby City. Sasha is doing a play in Nottingham. Don Warrington is doing Murder in Paradise, and Liz Humes Dawson is giving back to community, and she's helping running a stage school and performing school for kids. So these are all good people. How the hell did I end up around these people? They don't know what
You're a good person too.
I mean, I'm a good person when there's onion vinegar around, but if I go too long without it, it gets ugly. It's real ugly.
How did you actually go about getting it on the screen? Did you go and pitch it to people? Or what was the process of actually, bringing it to life?
Well, interesting story.
I love that story. I loved it. It was interesting. It was so good. It was a short story.
No, it came about from the BBC Comedy Feeds, which is like an arm of the BBC, which provides a platform for new and emerging writers to submit some stuff. And I submitted a script while I was in Edinburgh doing my debut show, and the BBC Comedy Commissioner came to my show by way of his assistant, who was historically a runner at Edinburgh, and she was real cool. And I remember seeing her at a showcase at the BBC, and she remembered me, and we stayed in touch. And then she began to rise through the ranks of the BBC, and she paid it forward, and repaid, and it just goes to show you, if you are good to everyone you come across, then an act's a double entendre of sorts. But in both cases, it's applicable. If you're nice to people you come across, then any good things will happen. So she put the commissioner for BBC Comedy in front of me and my show and stuff, and then he asked what else I had after seeing the debut, and then my manager and I collaborated to put together the script, and then that was commissioned, and then that came out in August 2015 or 2014. No, I want to say, I don't know.
They'll never check.
They'll never check. So yeah, but no,
1942.
2015 in August, then the pilot came out, then the show was commissioned the following month, and then the rest is present. It's still available, guys. It's like not that long, so find it online, and you probably need a TV license unless it's on YouTube. And if it is on YouTube, which probably is on YouTube, find it on YouTube. I'm not telling you to find it on YouTube, but I'm not going to make a big deal if you find it on YouTube.
It's findable on YouTube.
Yeah, and it is fine. And let's not focus on the fact that someone might be engaged in piracy, I've already plugged YouTube, which used to be owned by Rupert Murdoch. So who's guilty, really?
This show's on YouTube.
Well, there you go.
Stop. Yeah.
Google. It's them, right?
I think so.
Google. So Google that. Google Sunny D on YouTube.
And the Sarah O'Connell.
Google the Sarah O'Connell show.
And if you haven't, how the hell are you watching it?
and why aren't you watching more?
You should.
You should.
Bloody good point.
It's good. And you've aware of onion vinegar as well. You're welcome, everyone. That was aggressive. No, guys, I want to enjoy it. I have some too. It's really nice.
Onion vinegar.
Yeah.
So what do you have that with?
It's just like a vinegar on chips, fish.
And you have that, like you'd go to a chip shop and they have that.
Yeah. It's the one in the clear. You know the two. You get the salt and then you get the brown vinegar and there's a white one. You go, what's that white one? That's onion vinegar. It's not white vinegar. It's onion vinegar.
Basically, just assassinated me with ideas. Mind is blown.
I need to be reborn again as an enlightened person and a connoisseur of fried food.
I think I'm already a connoisseur of fried food. Condiments, not so much.
Well, they changed the game.
Basically, in condiment.
I like that. Also being stolen though.
That's fine. Basically, you're turning into a tribute act for me, which is a exciting twist.
I'm gonna call myself Dara O'Connell. It's like I've got the jokes, but now I'm trying it on stage.
Yeah. You should do that. So the one thing I really enjoyed about Sunny D is that there's loads of pop culture references and really sort of fun moments. And do you sort of what are you sort of from the 80s, I guess? 90s?
I mean, grew up in the 80s, but I'd say more 90s is a lot of it's where it's focused. And I guess it's because there hadn't been a sitcom with a majority black cast on TV for 20 years. So I guess that
Desmond's.
Yeah. So that was in early to mid 90s. So I guess it was kind of trying to bridge that gap. But at the same time, Sunny D wasn't necessarily the focus of being a black sitcom. It was a sitcom that incidentally had black people in it because it's semi-autobiographical. So it's fine.
Come on in, enter. Hello. Get some paper. Yeah, absolutely. Get some paper. We're going to be emptying the rest of the room as well. We're getting the mirrors.
We're almost
We won't tell. We're not going to tell anyone.
chips anyway. So
You are getting chips. I'm so hungry.
So hungry. I don't have chips with lasagna though. That's weird when people do that. What does lasagna go with though? Some people have lasagna with a salad. It goes with Garfield. See?
Do you know what annoys me? When you order a sandwich, it says it's got chips with it, but they mean crisps.
Oh my god. I find it annoying that Subway don't have their own brand of crisps already, and then just put it directly into the Subway sandwich. Because it just makes sense. Why don't they just do that, right? And then cheese toasted, crisped. Yeah. Yes. Everyone would have that.
That's such a good idea. Or just a crisp sandwich.
Yeah.
Or just go in there and go, look, I've got 2 extra hot dog buns here. Can you put in some of your lovely Subway crisps?
Exactly. And they were like, we don't have our own brand of crisps yet. Well, get your shit together, Subway. The cookies are sensational. Just keep in that same line.
They're really reasonably priced as well, the cookies.
Good cookies.
Really good.
You're only going to get a better cost-effective cookie scheme if you go to Sainsbury's and get like 5 for like £1.19. I don't know, depending on where you are, how they're feeling. But yeah, it's good selection.
I feel like we're really hungry.
I'm so hungry.
Yeah. it's that damn onion vinegar. It's like chips and crisps.
The whole KFC thing back there.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh,
that's like an hour conversation with KFC.
Went on for ages.
I know. I still want Viennetta.
I want a fully loaded meal. Oh,
but then, where are we getting the onion vinegar? We can't bring it into KFC. They won't have it.
You can't. I will. I've done that before. Once, I went to a McDonald's drive-thru and I was like, can I get barbecue sauce? And they were like 5p, and I was like, really? And I just pulled out a KFC barbecue sauce right out of my glove compartment to make a statement.
That's a statement.
Yeah, 5p for that. Are you kidding me? The sixth of a cost of a phone call for a piece of fructose.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not doing that, mate.
I went to McDonald's the other day and I thought it'd be healthy, bizarrely, and I got one of those. I substituted the chips for a salad, and it was like a cup of salad, but so it said it was only 18 calories, right? But the chips would have been 330. I thought I should have had 330 calories worth of salad, a big. I thought the cup would have been like a bucket, and it wasn't.
Yeah, and it's just. I mean, it's encouraging that there's still salads available.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the silver lining, and then it's harder. McDonald's has the best fries.
They're really good fries.
They're the best fries. They're the best fries. They're the best fries.
They're really good. The Burger King fries aren't so good, but I like a bacon double cheeseburger. But the fries are.
Sorry to cut you there. Number 6. That was it.
What even is that? That's more like at train stations where they do that, when they just have like a fixed menu, they don't have the full range. What's number 6?
Of the degrees of separation. We're now 1.
I thought you meant a menu item.
Oh, lackluster. I don't know what number 6 is. I'm not made of money. I don't go to Burger King that often. Like I said, unless I'm on a train station or on a motorway.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, the chip, they've got like a weird coating on them.
I don't want to make any derogatory comments towards the Burger King. I respect the Burger King and his beef-placed monarchy, but the fries, dude, yeah.
So basically what we're saying is we need to go to McDonald's to get fries, go to KFC to get barbecue sauce, but then hang on, if we're getting onion vinegar from the chip shop, do we mix them?
Yeah, why not? So, we're not focusing on separating ourselves,
No. So we're putting them all in a Subway sandwich, getting it cheese and toasted. Do you put
cookies for dessert?
Oh my God.
McFlurry, and then we're all united in obesity.
Yeah, but we've walked 12 miles to get all of that.
So we've burnt it off. Calorific. It's so funny that was a term. Things are calorific. That suffix does not apply to calories. It's like, calorific. You're going to die soon.
Basically.
Yeah.
It sounds a bit like bootylicious, but it's not as good.
I mean, if something was bootylicious, yeah, but that sounds good. Petition your chippy for onion vinegar, also.
Yeah, but be careful, it's not white. But people are getting. It's not the same stuff that they pickle stuff in.
Petition your chippy for labels for their condiments.
Thank you. There's been a public service announcement on behalf of Dara and Sarah O'Connell. It's a true story. Exactly. To the chip shop. So, finally, have you got any messages for your billions of fans at home and on the bus wherever they're watching this?
Yes. Go forth and multiply, and then buy tickets for my shows. And keep supporting Sarah O'Connell TV, guys. And thank you for supporting me. I appreciate it. I cannot give you money.
You can't give money. I thought this was...
I can give you hush money, but you have to go through my legal representation.
Oh, that's fine.
Is that? I don't know if I should be just saying that. No.
I think that's fine. Yeah. No one will watch this.
Yeah, okay. No, they'll watch it. They'll watch it. You like to see me squirm, don't you? That's the problem.
I don't even know if the camera's on.
Me either.
It's fine.
Neither. But then again, I don't know if the security guard's alive. That's the key, Sarah.
Nobody knows. Nobody does know.
I know who that was.
No, but the door, people are just coming and going. It's like someone needs to wake that security guard up.
Well, yeah, someone needs to hit him less violently. But I'm gonna test do your job, right? Yeah, they want to live their life.
Exactly.
It's fine.
So it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the Sarah O'Connell Show. I've really enjoyed it.
As have I. It's been very fun. Please watch, guys. Keep watching, and hopefully I'll see you soon.
So it's been thank you very much for watching. Be sure, if you haven't already, to subscribe, share this video, give it a big thumbs up as well, and I'll see you all again soon for another episode of the Sarah O'Connell Show, or the Dane Baptiste Sunny D, which is also probably going to be suggested as another video to watch after this.
Yeah, but not because I told you, and I'm not thinking straight. We're hungry. What do you want from us? Thank you, guys.
We want food.
Yeah, we want food.
So we're going to go get the food now. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.